Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another live here this morning, and hope you're having a great start to your day. We'll say hello to a few folks here, and as we like to do in the mornings, and make sure people are on with us, and we sort of have a little bit of a roll call. And Brahim, Portland, Oregon, you're up, number 1. Kevin, number 2. Rosalinda, Niagara Falls, good morning. And Jen, Cape Breton Island. Andrea, Niagara Falls. John from Elgin, Illinois, good morning. Francis Marie. Christina from North York. Jocelyn from Baxter. Jeanette from our staff, good morning. Mary and Wendy Markup, good morning. Lisa Marie, we appreciate you guys. Alicia and Linda and Frida. Let's get one more. Nope. Lynn, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Micheline, good morning. Yana, good morning. Zian, Ottawa, good morning. Carol, Pennsylvania. Margaret, good morning. Zian, bonjour. Deanna, LaSalle. Donna, Newfoundland, we love you. Sue, Bolton. Gary, good morning. And Rita. Brenda, Campbell River, British Columbia. Fran from Orangeville, good morning. Good morning. Anne from Nouveau Brunswick. Serpa in our backyard in Dowling. Fran, Georgie, Halifax. Jan, good morning. Karen, Coldwater. It would be cold, I guarantee. Janice, Brampton. Olga, good morning. New Brunswick. Adeline, Mary, New Brunswick. Lots from New Brunswick this morning. Sue from Manitoulin Island. St. George, New Brunswick. Francis. Crystal. Bruno, Quebec. And Julie. Couple more. Let's get going here. We appreciate you guys. Sue is traveling to Val-d'Or tomorrow. Kadichu, how are you? And I missed there. Brenda, Christine, Leela from Verner. Good morning. Okay, guys. Rose, how are you from Brampton? Good morning. And to all those I missed. Annette, Sandra, good morning. Okay, let's talk. Now, yesterday we talked about fructose fatty liver. It's worse than we thought. Remember, that was the headline. It's worse than we thought. And what happens in that liver, we talked about it yesterday. And today I want to talk about it a little bit more, because I want to sort of go over a questionnaire that you might find helpful. Fructose, more problematic than we thought. It drives fatty liver. It drives insulin resistance. It increases your uric acid, liver, and lowers your nitric oxide. And we talked about oxidative damage. 2 types. You rust out and you glycate, meaning that you lose all that elasticity, joints, skin, hair, whatever. Actually premature aging of the body, all because of what happens in the liver. And there's nothing worse than high fructose corn syrup. It's worse than we thought. That was yesterday. Today, I want to talk about the liver again. Now, okay, and the reason is I want to show you. Now, this is my old atlas here, okay? I memorized this stuff, okay, in school. So if you're on a podcast, we're showing my old atlas. And if you look at the liver, okay, It's probably about 3 to 4 pounds over here. But you talk about important. Okay? You talk about important. Now let's talk about the liver, the functions of the liver here this morning. And one thing, and you can't read this because it's too small, but do you know that, okay, this thing it's not as old as I am, this atlas, but I purchased this in the 1970s. Now, when you look at disorders of the liver, you will not find in here, you will not find NAFL, which we have renamed fructose fatty liver. You won't find it. Now, here you will find cirrhosis of the liver. They actually show it, okay? It's those little bubbles here, or little, seems like little tumors on that liver. The cirrhosis of the liver. But I want to talk to you about what the liver does. And I think it's really important to just spend a few minutes on this. Your liver. One thing it does is it regenerates. It regenerates. Now, there is a point of no return. But there's not an organ in your body that can regenerate itself like your liver. Okay? And literally, if you donate part of your liver, it'll grow back. It's unreal. And the reason is, guys, you can't live without your liver. You just can't. It does too many things. And I just want to, let's spend a minute or so talking about what the liver does. Okay? Now, the liver stores. And that's why we always talk about the liver being the Costco parking lot. It stores. It stores fat. If you insist on eating carbs, that is turned into glycogen, stored energy. Okay? The problem becomes when the liver is full. And most people, and we're going to go through this in the questionnaire. I want you to think about this for a bit. Most people, 93% on the last count, there's nothing that affects your metabolism more than your liver. And you know the saying at the Martin Clinic, what happens in the liver doesn't stay in the liver. What metabolic syndrome is, and 93% of the population have it, some form of metabolic syndrome, it's a storage malfunction. How do you like that? That's what it is. It's a storage malfunction. The body has an amazing ability to store fat. And the problem becomes when the liver is full. And sugar, especially we talked about yesterday, high fructose corn syrup, when you drink it or eat it, but drinking it's even worse, off to the liver, glycogen fills the liver and the body, okay, because you have two kinds of fat. You have glycogen and you have triglycerides. And when the liver is full of glycogen, there's no room in the inn for triglycerides, and they stay in circulation. They are dangerous when they don't get back to the liver. Triglycerides, fat balls. If you got room in your liver, Your triglycerides there's nothing wrong with them. They're metabolized. You can use it. But when there's no room in the liver, they stay in circulation, in your blood vessels. They damage your nerves. They damage your blood vessels. That's what triglycerides do. They're fat balls. They gum up. They don't gum up your liver. They gum up your blood vessels. And that's why medicine and big pharma and big food have really lied to us. Because it's not cholesterol. It's triglycerides that are dangerous. And they really have no drugs for triglycerides. They have drugs to lower your LDL cholesterol. And that's why they emphasize it. That's why they double down on it. And that's why I'm not even optimistic that anything's going to change anytime soon. They sponsor everything. From the medical schools, to the dietitians, to the, you name it, to the cereal companies, to the Heart Association. They sponsor everything. They got more money to throw at things. And I don't even mean, I mean it. I don't even mean that they don't think they're doing well. I think they go to sleep at night and their conscience don't even bother them because no one challenges them. You're a quack if you talk about triglycerides. But I'm sorry, folks. It's how your body operates. So when that liver, okay, when that liver gets full, there's no room for triglycerides to come back and be metabolized within the liver. They're dangerous out in the blood vessels. And you actually want, and you guys, we've taught you this many a times. The key in your blood work is looking at triglycerides and your HDL, cholesterol in the bloodstream that is roaming around in your blood vessels looking to hitch their wagon to triglycerides. Now you guys know that. And nothing affects that more than food and the storage of the liver. The storage of the liver. So, that is what metabolic syndrome is. It comes out of that. If you get that, this is game changing in your thinking. And I know you're going to get pushed. I was texting with an old friend last night. And you know, he's 80 something years old, in his mid 80s. Well, we've been friends a long time. And he said, "Doc, are you sure I can eat bacon and eggs? All my life I've been told not to eat that stuff. Are you sure I can have a steak?" I'm sure. Because your liver depends on it. And the liver is not Las Vegas. What stays in Vegas, you know, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Your liver's not like that. What happens in the liver affects your brain. You cannot, listen, you cannot be a diabetic. Impossible to be a diabetic without a malfunction of your liver. Yeah, I know your pancreas is involved. And you know me. When you go on the reset, what do I want you to do? Send your pancreas to what? To Hawaii. Give it a month break. It'll regenerate itself. But your liver empties. You want an empty parking lot. You don't want it to be full, because that is the malfunction of the liver, which affects your heart, which affects your brain, which affects, you name it. So, in a way, in my practice, I became a liver specialist. It's true, because I was teaching people every day, change fuel. Please, change fuel. You gotta get off the sugars. You gotta get off the crappy carbs. They're filling up your liver, and your liver is malfunctioning. Like I said, your liver does a lot of things, okay? It does a lot of things. When your liver is full, okay? It's full. You know what happens? You cannot detox. Your liver, every little ounce of your blood, okay? Your heart goes like this. I'm just going to do this quickly. Your heart pumps, boop, right? 100,000 times a day. It pumps. You don't even think about it unless it's not pumping right. Unless it's got a quirk to the pump. You don't even think about it. It pumps that blood. 60,000 miles of blood vessels. But my friend, listen. That blood, on its way back to the heart. Got it? About every minute or so. It's got to go through your liver. Your liver is a detox Arnold Schwarzenegger, if you know what I mean. It cleans the blood. The blood has to be purified of its toxins that come in the small intestine. You get leaky gut. You got garbage in your blood. The liver works overtime. But boy, oh boy, is it ever in trouble when it's full. It can't detox properly. And fat cells, by the way, they attract toxins like nothing else. So the more fat you have around that liver and in the liver, the less you detoxify, because heavy metals especially love fat. And so does any xenoestrogen or whatever. They love fat tissue. Why do you think women have trouble with breast cancer and men have trouble with prostate cancer? Estrogen. I don't want to get sidetracked. What else does the liver do? Well, it cleans. Okay, we know that. It stores. We know that. It cleans. It stores. It makes. What does it make? What does your liver do? It makes. It stores. It cleans. It makes. What does it make? Hormones. You got a fatty liver? Your thyroid won't even work properly because the conversion of T4 to T3. Remember, your thyroid really needs T3 to work properly. And that happens in your liver. That is why the reset is so good for your thyroid. It knocks the estrogen down and helps your thyroid function much better. You know what else your liver makes? Glutathione. I talk about that all the time. Velcro. It makes Velcro. Part of their detox. That's why I know this is Cancer Month, and I promise, we're going to spend some time on cancer. But you need a clean liver to fight cancer. because your liver won't be able to make the glutathione it needs. Your liver is such an important organ. That's why it's good to eat the liver too. Not your liver. No, but liver's good. Now, I don't like liver, personally. I like steak better, but liver is so good for you. And hey, listen, the cows are not full of toxins. Their liver is actually very good for you. Okay? What does it do? Okay? It actually helps to regulate blood sugar. It works with the pancreas to regulate blood sugar, but not if it's full. Not if it's full. And it's sort of a 24-hour grocery, grocery store that's open 24 hours because your liver stores things in it. Vitamins, minerals, when you need some B12. It's a late night pharmacy that's open all the time. It does store. It stores your fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A and vitamin D and vitamin K. It helps to clot your blood. It does. Can save your life, your liver. It's so important. It'll dole out energy when you need it, your liver. And the best food for your liver, by the way, is liver. Steak. Okay? It is. Because the liver makes amino acids. Okay? But you need to eat. You guys know I'm a Christian, so here's where I give you something, okay? I give you something spiritual, okay? Okay. Now, God makes your liver do certain things, but you have a responsibility to feed your liver with certain amino acids and vitamins that your liver can't make. Your liver can make amino acids. Those are your building blocks. Your body actually makes it. Did you know that your liver makes cholesterol? 85% of your cholesterol comes out of your liver. You're supposed to make up the 15%. That's your responsibility. That's my responsibility. So these amino acids, you got to eat them. And the essential amino acids, listen to what I'm going to say. And the same with cholesterol, listen to what I'm going to say. They're not found in the plant kingdom. They're not. You have certain amino acids that are found in the animal kingdom. I'm sorry if I've offended you. But you got to make up what God doesn't give you in the liver. You got to make that up. Okay? You got to make it up. That's your responsibility. You got to keep your liver empty. Let it do its job. You got to eat cholesterol. Provide the 15%. And cholesterol is only found in the animal kingdom. And there are certain amino acids, essential they're called, and they're found in the animal kingdom. And here's another one, okay, that the liver does. You guys thought I forgot, eh? No, I didn't forget. What does the liver produce? Bile. What do you need bile for? okay? Remember your gallbladder, okay? I'm going to show you a little picture of it. And actually, this one here, because it's diseases of the digestive tract, I don't know if you can see this properly, but when I'm talking on the podcast, you can't see it, but I'm pointing to this green thing underneath your liver. What is that? That's your gallbladder. What is your gallbladder? Well, that's a place your liver makes the bile, but your bile is stored in the gallbladder. Why does human beings have gallbladders? And why does cows don't have a gallbladder? Why do human beings have a gallbladder? And why do rabbits not have a gallbladder? I'm waiting. Why do tigers have a gallbladder? Tigers have a gallbladder. Why? Could they eat meat? And hopefully they don't eat you. If a tiger saw me, he'd say, there's breakfast. Right? You get that? You understand that? The liver makes bile so that you can emulsify your fat, so that you need bile to break your fat down. Fat-soluble vitamins. You need that. You need bile. And if you don't use your gallbladder, you'll lose it. Because you were never meant to eat fat-free. Oh, that gives me a headache. Fat-free eating. So when you send me your blood work, when you go to your doctors, make sure that that liver is tested. And you don't even have to do the enzymes. I don't mind liver enzymes. But I can tell really the state of your liver by looking at your triglycerides and your HDL and your A1C. Because of the connection with blood sugar and liver. And when the liver is full, you get insulin resistance. You have too much insulin. And your liver really get affected by that. My friend, you can't control everything in life. But what you can control is what you eat every day. And that's why I'm always preaching. I'm singing from the same song sheet. This is important. That your liver functions properly. You can't be healthy. It's an impossibility to be anywhere near good health. And we've tied the connection. Okay? We've tied it. The liver metabolic syndrome is connected to heart disease. That's why it's out of control today. It's not cholesterol. If it was cholesterol, we'd have got rid of heart disease by now. For 50 years or more, people have been eating fat-free. I was reading a study about Alaska and how much cancer they have in Alaska now. It's like everywhere else. And at one time in the 1920s or whatever, I mean, it was unheard of up there. Well, they were living on fish. They were living on moose. They were living on whatever. But they got away from it, and you got McDonald's in Alaska. And guess what? You introduce our way of eating to any population, and they get sick in nanoseconds. It doesn't take long because it's what happens in the liver that changes. It's a storage problem. It's a malfunction of storage. What are some of the symptoms? Possibly, and this is where I wanted to just close off today. You know, look, and again, these can be a lot of things, but I was just thinking about, okay, what can I mean, people be aware. Look, if you have belly fat, what did I see yesterday? I got to talk about this because this is another program. But the size of people, you know how I've talked about that a lot. And I'm going to show you a new thing that came out yesterday on the average size of people. The average size. And size matters. Size matters. And where you have your fat matters. Obviously in the liver. But when the liver gets full, you're going to get visceral fat. Body's got to make fat. If you insist on eating carbs, the body's got to make fat. And when that parking lot is full, we already talked about no room for triglycerides. Well, then it just lays down fat around you can be skinny as a rake. Skinny as a rake. And be very, very unwell metabolically. Well, you say, Doc, I don't see no fat. Yeah, but it's around your organs. You just happen not to see it. It's dangerous. If it's sitting around your pancreas, if it's sitting around your liver, if it's sitting around your heart, if it's sitting around your bowel, you're in deep doo-doo. And you could be skinny. When people are real big, they have an ability to store fat in all the wrong places. But it can be very visible. That's what obesity is. It's really diabesity. And it starts in the liver, my friend. And you got to look. I mean, obviously, if you get jaundiced, your liver ain't working. But those are the last signs. But the first signs is often visceral fat. And a lot of people, they're skinny, but they got a belly. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. And kids have these bellies today. It's not good. Because that's coming from the liver. The liver is full in these kids. That, my friend, is a national disaster. I know the last couple of years we talked about a virus way too much, in my opinion, and not enough talk about metabolic dysfunction, metabolic health, and what's happening in the liver. It's crazy. We haven't spent near enough time. The world got hijacked. You feeling exhausted? Tired? You don't sleep well? I look at that liver, clean it out. Guys, I'm telling you, it's one of the greatest things about the reset. It is. It's one of the greatest things about the reset. And I know, because people get on the reset and they're talking, you know, they're so interested in their scale. And I understand that, okay? I do. I really do. I'm very sympathetic to that. But the ultimate goal of the reset is to fix the liver. Fix it. It'll change your metabolic health. Okay. That was fun. I enjoyed that. I hope you did. Okay. Now, guys, I just want to, I think it was on Sunday or whatever, one of my, well, I'm sort of counseling her, Jordan, okay? She's at Oklahoma State, or, yeah, I think it is Oklahoma State. She's doing her master's degree, and she got on the private Facebook group to ask people to join in on a survey that she's doing, okay? And all of it, your names are not going to be involved or whatever. They just want you to fill out a questionnaire. She's also a student of Dr. McEwen at the University of Tennessee. And I help along. And Dr. McEwen was asking you to join up in filling out a questionnaire. It's just about the reset and the private Facebook group, how it helps out. They're doing a study. And so if you see that on our private Facebook group, then understand that's sanctioned by me. Okay? In case you're wondering. Okay? Because they're studying the reset. Now, I'm into, and I'll tell you this in the next a couple of days, I'm coming up with a little bit of a formula with the reset that I'm experimenting with. And I'll fill you in because I'm just going through a little process now and finalizing it, but I'll tell you about it, okay? And remember, writing a new book, Sun, Steak, and Steel, and Sleep. Coming to a theater near you soon. So be ready for that. We'll tell you when it's ready to come up. Okay, guys. We love you dearly, and I mean it. We'll talk to you soon.